going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, the unfortunate event has occurred in which we now have two injuries to the Chicago Bulls, both in very similar positions. So I kind of wanted to take a deeper dive into what this could potentially mean for the Chicago Bulls if either Alex Caruso or Ayo fail to return against the New York Knicks in our next game. Extremely unfortunate circumstances, ladies and gentlemen, but injuries are always going to be a talking point, especially for the Chicago Bulls, but for every team really. Even the teams that we've beaten in this run have had very big injuries to talk about. So the Bulls look like they're going to be in the same predicament. It's not really that much different. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, your overall thoughts and opinions on what the Chicago Bulls will be doing now for the point guard position. This might be fairly early to say because at the end of the day, we may very well see Alex Caruso or Ayo return against the New York Knicks. But right now, in all honesty, if you're looking at the current injury list for the Chicago Bulls, there are 3 point guards on this team that are actually hurt right now. Lonzo Ball, the biggest one, the one that we know is going to take a long time for him to return. I think Alex Caruso has a back injury. I also think he had a strain of some sorts. And Ayo has an abdominal contusion alongside Alex Caruso, who also had a contusion. And I believe there was also a potential wrist injury going on with Ayo as well. I'm not too sure about that. But watching that fall, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't really get to speak much about it in the game reaction because I was truly stunned at the result. Watching that fall, I felt like a lot worse could have actually happened for him. So again, I think we got off a little bit lightly, but still, for the next couple of games at least, we could potentially see one of Alex Caruso, Ayo or both not be playing or participating for the Chicago Bulls in the future. And if that's the case, we've got a bit of a problem in the point guard position, ladies and gentlemen, and how are we going to fill that spot? I want to talk a lot about that in this video because you might think it's straight, easy, forward, simple, pull Goran Dragic into the starting lineup and then that will be resolved. We've got our starting point guard in Goran Dragic, our backup point guard in Coby White, and we run the system as we normally run it. And maybe that makes sense. Maybe that's exactly what we're going to do. But I feel like it's a little bit more complicated than that, ladies and gentlemen. If you've seen Goran Dragic's recent minutes, a lot of his minutes have been, I think, separated in many ways. He's had limited minutes as well. He's not been a guy that you could just put into the team and allow him to play 25, 26, 30 minutes a night. He's not been that type of player. And I even think in some games you can tell when he's getting very tired, ladies and gentlemen. Again, he's a 36-year-old guy. He is coming towards the end of his career, and putting him in the starting lineup might make sense, but I don't necessarily think throwing him in the starting lineup and playing him 30 minutes a game will help Goran Dragic. I don't think that's what the Bulls are going to do either, as we've seen with him on the bench. His minutes have always been very limited, very stagnant, very separate from each other. We play him in sporadic minutes, let's say. I guess that's the way to put it. So I don't necessarily think it's that straightforward to put Goran Dragic into the starting lineup and problem solved, because there's still going to be the issue of minutes and how we're going to separate his minutes from quarter to quarter. There's still going to be who's going to be the backup. Is it going to be Coby White? How will Coby White fit into a point guard role for the Chicago Bulls team? There is a lot to dissect in that way. But I think Coby White's going to be the big difference here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't necessarily know how long Ayo or Alex Caruso will be out, and I'm hoping it's not going to be too long. So maybe this is not a massive talking point that's going to be talked about for months and months on end. It could very well just be one game, if that, for the Chicago Bulls. But if we do see 2 point guards out, I think Coby White is going to have to step in. And this is Coby White, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what he's been doing his whole career, really, with this Bulls team. He just comes in and fills roles, whether it's a point guard role and ball handling and trying to play make, or whether it's a guy that's just going to come in and sit in the corner and shoot a 3. That seems to be what Coby White does. And again, his versatility will probably help us in the end with this team. But we know naturally Coby White is a guy that can struggle at the point guard position. However, in the last couple of games, he's done very well for the Bulls team. He had 6 assists in the game in which we won against Dallas. He made a couple of huge 3s in the game against the Atlanta Hawks in which we lost. He's done some good things for this Bulls team recently. So if I had to pick who's actually going to start for this team, it would be Coby White, in my opinion. I personally believe believe that's what we're going to go down. And that might not be the most popular opinion in the world, because a lot of people have very opinionated thoughts on Coby White. But if I'm thinking about this Bulls team, either way, we're going to see Coby White play heavy minutes in the point guard spot, whether it's coming off of the bench of being, I guess, that spark plug that we need, or whether it's going to be starting for this team and trying to fit in the role. We're going to see Coby White play a lot more minutes, arguably play a lot more minutes than Goran Dragic, no matter where his position is going to be. And I think he's going to have to be huge in that avenue. It might just be for one game. It might be for a little bit more than that. It may never happen, but Coby White is going to be the difference maker in that point guard spot until we get those players back and they can fill in the spot for themselves. Now, as we normally see, personally, the point guard spot for the Chicago Bulls does not always have the primary responsibility of being a ball handler. So I think Coby White can still do well in the role of being a point guard. Many people might even say he's basically playing point guard already. He has been all year. And whether you agree with that or disagree with that, that's up to you. Obviously, Coby White will probably say he's playing a multi-guard system. He's a combo guard, and I'm sure that's what many people will follow as well. So I think he will be a guy that we're going to have to rely on heavily until those guys come back. And then for Goran Dragic, I think he's going to have to play a tad bit more minutes, but I think he's going to have to step up in some of those minutes as well. Goran Dragic has been good in some ways and has been a guy that doesn't necessarily, I guess, shine in other games as well. There have been games where he's disappointed in the Chicago Bulls team, where he tries to do a little bit too much, or he's not necessarily aggressive in his shot and everything like that. Then you've got other games where he's really, really crafty. He's putting himself in great situations to score. He's a good three-point shooter. Playmaking's on point. There's a lot of good things with Goran Dragic as well. So I expect him to play a little bit more minutes for this Bulls team, but I can't see him playing 30 minutes a night. I just can't see it. I don't think we've ever seen that all year, and I know we haven't needed to see that all year, but judging on his age and judging on where he's at in his career, to play a lot of heavy minutes for this Bulls team, I'm not sure if that's the way the Bulls are going to really go down. But we brought him in here to bring, I guess, experience into that point guard spot. So I expect him to be a focal point in the next couple of games until Ayo and Caruso comes back as well. But we shall wait and see what will happen in that avenue. But it sucks to see that three of our point guards right now are actually hurt. And hopefully we can, I guess, find a way to overcome the situation and get out of it unscathed. We'll wait and see what we can do. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. And again, I think the best case scenario is obviously for all those players to get well as soon as possible. And for the Bulls, the best case scenario is that at least one of these guys returns, so we're not really prioritizing heavy minutes on guys that are, one, not naturally a point guard and is more of a combo guard, and two, a 36-year-old. So yeah, I'm hoping one of those guys can come back and make sure the point guard position is not necessarily, I guess, a big problem going forward for this team. With all that being said, have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care.